The Kerrick Sports Sedans series treated us to some hard-fought races in Queensland, but Tony Ricciardello made it look easy with a clean sweep. He'll be tested, though, this weekend with speed, as will the man next to me. Thomas Randall, you, in fact, be tested on all fronts. Debutant here. It's very exciting indeed.
Yeah, especially debuting at Phillip, one of the fastest circuits in Australia, if not the fastest circuit in Australia, in a 750 horsepower sort sedan is definitely exciting.
And for the people at home, you've come from 130 horsepower in Formula Ford. I mean, what coerced Dad to give you a go?
Yeah, well, it's not just that, as well as the aerodynamics of the race car compared to a Formula Ford. But we did the sports sedan round at Winton earlier this year, or the Vic State round, and we did quite well there. And after that, I think Dad wanted to do the Phillip Island National round, so we found that there was no Formula Ford race on the same weekend, so it was a go-ahead.
You're in Dad's winning Saab from 2010, but he's had an awful crash in it. Any words of advice to keep it clean?
Pretty much make sure I know who's around me for starters, and just keep it on track. Don't do anything too drastic. I'm trying to go for a lap record, depending on what the track's like. But yeah, make sure I know where I am on the circuit and not to do anything silly.
I'm sure you won't. It's very exciting to see you out here. 750 horsepower is what the drivers will be negotiating this weekend. Racing never disappoints.
How do you explain the cars that make up the grid in the Kerrick Sports Sedan series? Well, take 800 horsepower V8s with the occasional rotary, lightweight cars with big wings and big tyres, and you get the idea. These things are the fastest thing with roofs in Australia. The only way to go quicker is to go open wheel. The field is an eclectic bunch of both man and machinery, including the 7-time champion Tony Ricciardello and his long-time Audi driving rival Darren Hossack, and it's one of the great rivalries in sport. But don't count out anyone in this field made of power, performance and a huge amount of passion. This is the Kerrick Sports Sedan National Series. The Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit is a place of extremes in weather, in conditions, in one of the most extreme circuits you'll find anywhere around Australia. We're getting set for the Kerrick National Sports Sedan Series, and it's been a changing championship for some of the most extreme cars in the land. They're rolling out for race 2. Gary O'Brien alongside me for this one. Tony Ricciardello leads the points over the defending champion Bruce Banks, with Colin Smith third in the Monaro, and Darren Hossack, the poleman, going from 4th place. And he's the poleman, Gary, because he won race 1 on Saturday, finally broke that streak of Tony Ricciardello race wins.
Yeah, and was dominant, wasn't he, really? Tony really had to work hard just to stay with him, and actually down at this corner went straight ahead at one stage, just trying to do what he can to try and stay on the back, not only stay on the back, but get by.
Here is the Auto Union Spares Audi, broke the lap record en route to that amazing victory, qualified on pole by 4/100ths of a second. Closest qualifying we've seen between the two of them on one race 1. This is how they finished that race on Saturday. The second generation driver, one of 2 in the field, Stephen Tomasi, goes from 3rd. Steve Lacey, the New South Wales champ, goes from 4th place alongside Dean Kemp. Tom Randall coming from the back of the field after dramas in race 1. He will be one to watch in that Kerrick Saab. Second generation driver in the field, of course, is Dad Dean, a former Kerrick Sports Sedan champion. Rolling start here at Phillip Island. These things are amongst the fastest racing cars to race at this place, and they always put on one heck of a show.
That's Stephen Lacey from New South Wales, one of the State of Origin competitors, right behind our 2 front runners.
It's a great sight, the thunder of 750 horsepower winged sports sedans at Phillip Island. With thanks to Kerrick, we're underway for race 2. Good start from Tomasi on the second row. Looks down the inside of Darren Hossack. They'll almost be 3 wide. It funnels down into turn 1, and there's contact across into the 2 championship contenders, and they're all off the road at 250 k's an hour. Tomasi off, Ricciardello off, and Hossack as well.
Can Tomasi get going out of this? It looks like he just moved over to take the line into turn 1, and then just the cannon effect into Hossack, and then of course Ricciardello nowhere to go.
Flat left rear Dunlop on the Calibra. So Drama's safety car out. but crucially, first and second in the race, and the two key contenders in this series out. Here it is from Tony Ricciardello's perspective. Let's watch and listen. Well, I mean, he was the innocent party in that, Gary. He just copped the hit from Hossack, who in turn copped the hit from Tomasi. This will show it. Wow.
Certainly does, and lucky that tyre barrier was finishing where it was. And I noticed on the readout,
oh, wow, that's just 3 into 1, don't go.
235 Ks on Ricciardello's readout.
Out off the start of the race as well. And Hossack out of his car. Everyone's okay, but he's going no further. Tomasi carried back. The race has been red flagged and no race. Let's hear from the protagonists involved in that.
We're running door to door, and I've approached the corner, and apparently to the live footage it looks like I've turned into Darren, but there was absolutely no intentions of doing that whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that I was trying to keep a straight line, and maybe the car got a bit unstable, and it was just a bit too close. Darren gave me a few words before. He wasn't happy, but it's racing, and yeah, it was just, I say it's unlucky for myself.
Tony and I had a pretty close start as we did yesterday, and we're pretty much neck and neck down to turn one. And you know, I think we probably were just edging in front of Tony, but Steve Tomasi sort of got a better start than both of us and came up the inside of me, which made it 3 abreast, and I couldn't go anywhere, and he decided he needed to be where I was, and of course hit me, and it's just broken the front end, and we've hit Tony, and he's taken 3 of it, or taken us 2 out and himself, so a bit disappointed.
Mate, I don't know, I was on the outside, something happened on the inside, got cleaned up and just taken out, so innocent party in this one, so I don't know who lost their brains on the first corner, but it's pretty disappointing when you know, we're leading the championship. Anyway, I'll see what the vision says, and that tells the truth, so anyway, what do? You've got to try to get it fixed for the next race.
So after the dramas at the start of race 2, we're getting set for the third and final race. Now, race 2 was declared a no result. That race will not count towards the Kerrick Sports Sedan Championship, though that will be very little comfort to Darren Hossack, who has failed to take the formation lap for this race. And we're just waiting to see where Tony Ricciardello whether he can get back on the racetrack or not and take the start in the B&M Ricciardello Alpha GTV. Here's how they start. The protagonists from the opening race out, Stephen Lacey and Michael Robertson, start from the front row with Dean Cam and Bruce Banks alongside. We need to keep an eye out for the youngster in the Kerrick sub, Tom Randall. Watch for him. He will be one of the fastest drivers in this field, but still starting a little way down. And this is great news. As the field is rolling up, they've just got this car patched together, and Tony Ricciardello will be able to start this race from pit lane and at least, Gary, get some points.
Well, talk about leaving it to the last minute. Obviously, they had no choice, because here we go, starting.
Lacey gets the jump in the Chevy Camaro, a car we're familiar with in the Kerrick series. Robinson on the outside, a depleted field, but still plenty of firepower. There's Randall, Bob McLaughlin in the Commodore, and on the inside of him, Dean Cam. As we get down into turn 2, Banks, the defending champion, goes to 3rd. Randall slots himself into 4th.
Yeah, excellent start, back as a field. Of course, he did take the start in race 2 after a throttle jam in race 1, put him out.
Robertson looking to make a move on Steve Lacey, who joins the series for first time this weekend. Great to have him part of it. Look at Randall down the inside of the defending champ.
Lean-looking Chev Camaro through turn 1 leads the way. And Randall picked up another spot there. Now he's got Robertson to deal with.
So great stuff for Randall, moving his way forward. Son of the 2006 Kerrick Series champion. This isn't that same car, but this car won the 2010 championship in the hands of the karting guru James Serra. As we see one of the Henley RX-8s rounding out the field, round the outside, up to the Lukey Heights and down to MG. There's another one for Tom. Gets it done. That's P2.
Certainly a good move down into MG corner. Robertson now in 3rd, Banks right behind him, and then Dean Cam as well.
So Tom Randall running in the Australian Formula Ford Series this year. Dream Motorsport, new team that's been established this season that prepared the car coming into the round. On board with Banks right up behind Robinson. This shot from the rear wing of the RX-7, the defending sports sedan champion. Oh, and he's got dramas. Broken rear hatch on the RX-7. And that's going to be a bit of aero drama for him going down into turn one, a bit of extra drag.
Randall couldn't get it done down the straight against Lacey. Not much in the top end of those Chev-powered cars.
Really fast, Gary, in qualifying. Tom Randall actually went faster in quali than he did in race one, than he did in qualifying, into the 28s, and only sort of half a second off the pace of Ricciardello and Darren Hossack, two fastest drivers in the series. Lacey defending his line.
Great shot down into turn 4. Bit squirrely from Lacey in front. Obviously right on the edge of adhesion as far as braking goes.
Strange old drama there for Bruce Banks with just the perspex in the rear hatch of the RX-7 popping up. That's going to create a huge drag issue for these cars, which are touching nearly 295 kilometres an hour, the fastest ones at least, on that run into turn one. They are the fastest things in Australia at Phillip Island in a straight line. And speaking of fast, how's that for a move? Great commitment around the outside on the entry to Lukey Heights, and Tom Randall takes the lead.
Now Lacey's got some pressure on him from Robertson. We've still got the other two there in Cam and O'Loughlin.
Here's the start. So good start. This is looking at the back of Lacey's car. Not short of a horsepower, the Camaro, is it? What a rocket ship. Robinson's done a great job this weekend too, Gary, I thought. Now this is the move. Robinson watching on from third, just got a great run through the hay shed, which is just off to the right of screen, driver's left. The car moving around as they get into Lukey Heights, and now Robinson looks to bomb it down the inside of Steve Lacey, down into turn 4, but can't get it stopped. This is a good fight.
Yeah, Cam will be looking on there, waiting for one of those two to have a little glitch so he can get through. Just wondering too whether Banks might actually get called in over that hatch issue. I don't know if there's been any flag shown, but it could be a possibility.
Yeah, mechanical black flag, perhaps. I think as long as it stays firmly attached and isn't flapping around too much, it might be okay. If anything, it's an impediment to the Tasmanian driver because it'll slow him down in a straight line. It's a bit of extra drag they don't need.
Of course, aero is fairly important on these cars.
Well, they're in the 127s here at Phillip Island, Gary, which is an average lap speed of over 180 kilometres an hour. So these cars here are about 5 seconds a lap quicker than a V8 supercar. Not just a Kumo V8 touring car, but a fully blown Jamie Whincup spec V8 supercar. These are incredibly quick.
Look at this, we could have the potential 3 wide down into turn 1. These 3 Chev-powered cars.
Dean Cam had his Vitabricks this morning, didn't he? He's up on the wheel today. He's flying.
I think the carrot's right in front of him, isn't it?
Michael Robinson, yeah. Fellow rival from the Victorian Series.
Would love to beat the president of the Victorian Ford Sedan Association, no doubt. As they thread their way down towards turn 4.
On board with Lacey. Let's have a listen. That's what we can say, isn't it? Because they were very deep.
Oh, and I think the bluff game worked there.
Robinson wide out of the corner and just carried a bit too much speed into turn 4, ran the car wide. So Dean Cam grabs third position away from Michael Robinson, and his next target now is Steve Lacey. Here's another look, Gary.
Big flame out the side of the Corvette as he down changed at the very last possible moment, and of course Robinson ran wide coming out of the corner.
And that's just allowed Lacey to break away. So we start the final lap of the third race in a dramatic round of the Kerrick Sport Sedan Series. We'll have multiple race winners for the first time this season, although we didn't really get a race 2 to talk about. But man, the intensity's just risen at the top, hasn't it? And what about Tom Randall out in front as this walk continues? He's just driven away in a really superb performance. How about Dean Cam around the outside of Lacey at turn 4?
Lacey has a quick look over. Is he in the right position to get that point back?
I think he does, yeah. So got good drive out of the corner. Dan Cam just bombed it around the outside. A lot of commitment, just couldn't quite pull it off. Oh, and Kerrick is off the road. He's in one of the Grand Am RX-8s, been run by Henley Racing. It's one of the Speed Source cars that won the 2008 Daytona 24-hour race, car number 42. It's great to see those cars in Australia, and all 3 of them running. This fight on for the minors, down the inside. Lacey defending, Cam and Robinson still in the mix as well.
We're going to take this one all the way down to the wire.
How about this performance? The youngster, Formula Ford full-timer, but he's going to get a win in the Kerrick Series just like his old man. fantastic performance, Tom Randall. And the fight for second will go to the line, quite literally to the line, because Cam pulls out but can't get there, and Lacey's too good in a straight line and holds on to second place. What a fantastic performance and a great race in the Kerrick Sports Sedan Series. Well done to Tom Randall. He grabs the race victory. The round victory, though, will go to Michael Robinson.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a special feeling for me. Bit of a shame that Darren and Tony weren't able to be out there with me. I know Tony was out there but had a couple of issues, but now to come away with a win was, yeah, pretty awesome.
Consistency pays off, I think, so didn't even know I was sort of in for the running, but I'll take it, that's for sure.
And I mean, how hard fought has it been to get to this place now?
Well, I've run every round and pretty well finished every race, but I'm just slowly getting on top of the car, and new 18-inch wheels have taken a fair bit even this weekend just to get used to, so it's sort of slowly paying off.
Well, Tony Ricciardello still leads the Kerrick Sports Sedan Series. The margin comes down a little bit, though, after just getting to the finish in race 3. Colin Smith second, Bruce Banks, the defending champion, third. Michael Robinson moves himself to 4th place in front of Bruce Henley, Hossack, Tomasi and Bradford. Winners on the podium at the end of an exciting round of the Kerrick National Sports Sedan Series. We're going to